So we have a question like this: right angle triangle, there's an angle involved, therefore we're looking at trigonometry. Can you recall the phrase that we used to remember? There we've got Sokotoa at the bottom. We're going to label our triangle. This is the opposite to here. And actually we need the H. We have the O, therefore we do not need the A. We're looking at the O and the H. The O and the H are on this triangle here. So the triangle that we need. Right. The one that we need, X, I'm going to write X equals. That's the one that we need, is the H. So I'm going to cover the H. And I know I'm going to have to put the opposite divided by the S. Now the S isn't just going to be the S. This actually means sine 35. If I was to do the same here, the opposite would be my 20 centimeters and my H would be my X. I don't know what that is at the moment. So I'm basically substituting those three into this equation here. There's my X already. O is 20 and this is sine 35. We put that into the calculator. And I'm going to do it with a divide symbol, 20 divided by sine 35, although you can use a fraction. And interestingly, you don't actually need to close the bracket out. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Always a good idea to write this out to at least 5 decimal places. It says it needs, oh, it doesn't actually say need rounding. So I'm going to round it to 2 decimal places. You could round it to 1 decimal place. And it's in centimeters. So that is the answer. So another example down here. Again, we're going to use the same triangles. So I need O and I've got A, so I don't need this one. The triangle that I will need. Now, sometimes I've seen people do it this way, and I think this is a really good way of doing it. What's our T? Well, T is tan of the angle. O is my X and my A is my 11. So now I can put that X equals, and then I'm multiplying across here, tan 42 multiplied by 11. Now we will need to close the brackets here, so it's a good idea to know to do it. We can also put it in as 11 tan 42, and in this case we don't need the brackets. Go figure. Right, so I'm going to put that in. Tan 42, close brackets, multiplied by 11. 9.90444, and this time to a 1 decimal place is 9.9. It's still centimeters. So this is a good way of doing it if you struggle to work out which goes which. Remember, the tan is always going to go with the angle. So we've got tan and we've got an angle here. I thought I'd also put this one in as well. This is actually the last question on the Maths Genie paper. I really like these when I've got 2 different triangles. I find it challenges my brain. We need to find out the size of angle BCD. BCD. So we're looking at that angle just there. But I don't have all the information I need to be able to work on this triangle first. And that's usually the way it works. If X is over here, we're likely to have to try this triangle first. I like to sketch it. Right. So I like to sketch that triangle. We know this is 37 degrees. We know that this is 9 centimeters. So we can use this information either to work out this side or this side. But because I want to know what this length is here, because if I know what this length is, then it'll tell me I can take 22, subtract this length and get to this length here. And that's what I need to be able to work out. I need two lengths to work it out. And this length is not going to give me anything. So I need to work out what this one is, and I'm going to call it Y. Label my triangle. Which one do I not need? And that's the H. So we're looking at this is tan of the angle. This is the opposite. And this is the adjacent, which is my Y. Y equals 9 divided by tan 37. .9434. Now be very careful. Do not round yet. Okay, this creates a rounding error, so do not round it. What we're actually going to see if we can use this, and perhaps using my favorite key on the calculator, which is answer button, but we're just going to leave that on a display for now. But we're going to think about our next triangle. In fact, before I do that, I'm just going to have a look back at this. 22 centimeters subtract 11.9 gives us that length here. So this length here is 22 centimeters subtract. So I'm going to leave that in, and I'm going to do 22 subtract answer. Gives us this. Okay, note I still haven't rounded it. We're going to play with that in a minute. That's my 9, and there is my X. So it is an angle question. Sometimes you get like a trigonometry and then a Pythagoras or a Pythagoras trigonometry. These happen to both be trigonometry because they've both got angles involved. Again, we don't need the H. Again, it's the TOA triangle. But this time it's tan of X. We don't know what X is. O is the 9, A is this 10.05659, ... So we need tan of X. Two ways of thinking about this. The way that I generally set it out, I'll do the other way as well. Tan of X equals 9 divided by 10.05659. And then I'll put that into my calculator, which I've already got that in my answer already. So I do 9 divided by my answer, which gets me this. So tan of X is 0.89493. And then I will do my inverse tan. So I'll need to do so X equals, and actually what we're going to put into our calculator is, which is that there. So we do shift tan, then we use the answer button, and we'll get this number here. So X equals 41.82647, and that is rounded to, it says in the question, 1 decimal place. 41.8. What are we doing? We angles with degrees, and this is to 1 decimal place. Okay, so that's one way of working through it. If you already understand this step here, and you don't need to do that rearranging to get there, then you can go straight from this information here to x equals tan of this here. Now, there are clever ways of having stored this in my calculator. I'm not going to go through them right now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to find this number again, because I don't like using this number just typed into my calculator. So I'm going to go right up to here, and I'm going to type in 9 divided by tan 37, which gives me that answer here. I then subtracted it from 22, which gave me this answer here. This is the answer that I now need here. So I've now got it in my answer button. So the next time I press answer, this number will come up. So I'm going to type that in, tan. Again, you could use your fraction button. I'll use my fraction button this time, but you could also use divide. And for good measure, I'm going to close it out. So that there gives me that answer of 41.82647. X is about 41.8 degrees to 1 decimal place. And that, sorry, did all that without showing you. So what I did was I wrote x equals tan to the 1, 9 over this. That's where we got to before. And then what you did see was what I was doing on the calculator. And so I went back, I found this out on my calculator again. I found this, so that this number was in my calculator. And then that's what I put into my calculator. I put that into my calculator, which gave me this number straight away. So this way, or if you're happy that it's the inverse tan of opposite divided by the tangent here, sorry, opposite divided by the adjacent here, then this gives you that.